Hi, I'm Jodi Clock. Today we're going to talk about when your pet dies, how you feel. And sometimes, quite frankly, there's a hole in your heart that you can't heal, and you might feel kind of at odds or just uncomfortable sharing that with people. That makes me sad when people say that, because pets are their family, and you're going to grieve just like you would with a human. There are no wrongs and rights in grief. And I would probably say everybody does it on their own time, in their own place. I'm not here to lecture. I'm here to share with you something that I found very, very helpful. Clock Timeless Pets, we sent our professionals to the Certified Pet Loss and Companioning class last year as a part of the Professional Pet Loss Alliance. And we learned a lot of things. And one of the mentors in our industry, if you will, on the human and on the pet side, is Dr. Alan Wolfold. He is just one of the industry's experts in grief. He's written numerous books. This one just happens to be What Happens When Your Pet Dies. It's under the Death and Dying Self-Help portion if you happen to go to Amazon or if you go to Barnes & Noble's. And it talks about just all kinds of things. But one of the things Dr. Alan Wolfold put together was a pet lover's code. It's kind of like the 10 inalienable rights when your pet dies or your special companion. It's too much for me to memorize, so what I'd like to do, with your permission, is to go ahead and read these to you. Some of these I can identify, and he was spot on. I think you might find it. The very first one is you have the right to grieve the death of a pet. You loved your pet. Your pet loved you. You had a strong, profound relationship. You have every right to grieve his death. You need to grieve this death, and you also need to mourn the death. That means talking to other people besides yourself. Share it. Number 2, you have the right to talk about your grief. Talking about your grief will help you heal. Seek out others who will allow you to talk about your grief. Other pet lovers who have experienced the death of a pet often make good listeners. If at times you don't feel like talking, you also have the right to be silent. Understand that silence is good, and it's okay just to kind of be quiet and take it all in. Number 3, you have the right to feel a variety of emotions. Confusion, anger, guilt, relief. It's okay to feel relief. Those are just some of the few emotions you might feel as a part of your grief journey. They aren't wrong, they aren't right, they just are. And this is your journey. Number 4, you have the right to be tolerant of your physical and emotional limits. After the death of a pet, your feelings of loss and sadness might leave you feeling a little bit fatigued. Go with it. That's okay. Respect your body. Listen to your body. Get some rest. Eat a balanced meal. Sleep. Do whatever your body is directing you to do. 5. You have the right to experience grief outbursts. Sometimes just out of nowhere, you're going to have a surge of grief where you're going to feel overwhelmed, and this might overcome you. It can be frightening, and it's normal and natural. Speaking firsthand experience, that's me. Out of nowhere, I was driving down the road and I heard some silly song, and I completely lost it. It reminded me of Max. Someone who deals in this stuff every day, you'd think you'd know what to do. Well, let me tell you, I felt silly and I didn't know what was going on. It was a good year later. And you know, this made me feel better. Number 6, you have the right to make use of a ritual. After a pet dies, you can harness that power and do anything you want with it to honor them. We talk about memory tables, We talk about burials. We talk about paying tribute. You have the right to do that in whatever way, shape, or form you want to do with it. And that also includes anyone and everyone who loved your pet. Invite him. You'll be surprised who might show up. Number 7, you have the right to embrace your spirituality. At a time of loss, it's natural to turn to your faith or spirituality. Engaging your spirituality by attending church, your place of worship, spending time alone in nature. You might even meditate doing yoga. It's personal. It's yours. Do it any way you can. You may even want to just light a candle, stay silent, and take a few deep breaths. Number 8, you have the right to search for meaning. You may find yourself asking, why did my pet die? Why this way? Why now? Well, there aren't any answers to that, but you can seek that. And it's okay. Understand, though, you may not get the answer you're looking for, or you may never get that answer. But go ahead and ask them. It's okay. Number 9, one of my personal favorites, and I take full advantage of this. You have the right to treasure your memories. Memories are one of the best legacies that exist after the death of a special companion animal. Instead of ignoring your memories, capture them. Treasure them, and don't be afraid to share them. Number 10, you have the right to move toward your grief and heal. You can reconcile your grief after the death of a pet, and you can move on. Grief is best experienced in doses. You can't say, oops, my pet died and today I'm going to grieve. It doesn't happen that way. Grief happens in its own space, in its own time, and everybody's personality is different, and everybody is going to compartmentalize it and deal with it in their own way. Just because someone tells you you have to feel and you have to grieve, that may work for them and it may not work for you. But you'll recognize it when it happens. And when it does, go with it. Breathe in, acknowledge it, and let it go.